we're here in the Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. Am I forgetting any Marys? The Ordinary Mary Callie Healing Room over at the portal in the heart of Ladna, and we're just sort of having. What happens here at the portal is these conversations. It's a community loving space for people to come into, and as you see around you, there's a lot of pictures of Mary. There was a minister in here recently, and I sort of dragged her in off the street, and her one comment was, there's an awful lot of pictures of Mary. And this was a couple of days before Christmas, and then she sort of went, but it is Christmas, and I didn't like to say it, but whether she came back in February, there'd still be a lot of pictures of Mary. And Christ is sort of in behind us here, so it's not a surprise that we're talking about Catholicism. But where I wanted to go today is just to pick up on our full moon circle that we had here. Because there's a lovely blend going on in here of birthing in the new age, what we call the golden age, and everything is pretty welcome. You know, the pagan is welcome, Jesus is welcome, Callie is welcome. She's pretty fierce if you have a peek at her behind Paula there. And it's all welcome. And for our moon circles, which we often do outside at the mystery school on the land, in the winter time we often find ourselves here in the Mary Callie room. And our last full moon, the theme that came, which usually comes pretty intuitively, was the sword of discernment. And this was one of the symbols that we were working with for the sword of discernment. And this was another one. And Paula over here, who I like to call the fairy godmother, has been coming into the portal with her gifts since about, when did you start coming, Paula?
I brought you flowers from the summertime.
Many flowers. You would leave bouquets.
And oregano and lavender and all this stuff, all the pretty stuff in the garden, right?
Swiss chard and cedar boughs and just this huge abundance. All the abundance you see around here.
It's Swiss chard at my house, and I wanted somebody to have it. So pretty, right?
And it's appreciated, right?
Pretty Swiss chard, right?
Those gifts are appreciated here. And one of the things Paula brought in just before the full moon was what she saw as these scepters, and they're very masculine and they're very feminine. And what surprised me about this full moon circle that we had was the symbol for the sword of discernment felt like it was really important to have one, sort of like a recipe, one part masculine and 2 parts feminine, which you were just asking about, right, Jeanette? Why there's, I feel like we're on 100 Huntley Street.
See, this was very bizarre. I just got an insight about why the 2 feminine. Tell me tell me here. Let me hear your insight.
Like much around here, it's intuitive, and I know it. We're all about reclaiming what we know. And we all know what we know. There's nobody who's the teacher here. We're all remembering and reclaiming and sharing. And so what this was intuitively was that it was really important to have the 2 feminine receptors and then the masculine active principle. And what I found when I was in the Sacred Economics workshop this weekend with Charles Einstein, that Ronnie was at too. Ronnie wasn't there during the day, but during the day Charles was up at the front. So if you hold that one, right, Charles is up at the front doing the masculine, bringing it out, manifesting, teaching on this gift economy, and his wife Stella is back here, and I end up being over here working on a dyad with her. But what I realized is invisibly, you know, and this could be me all full of my own importance, but because I'm still working on humility, but I really felt like the 2 of us were enacting this symbol, that the 2 of us were doing this kind of invisible feminine receptor thing, while Charles was bringing this information of the gift economy, which is so natural to us as women, and totally what happens here at the portal. And the other thing that's been going on a lot here is this concept of the Trinity, and again we've got the Trinity happening. So I'm curious, Jeanette, what, I mean, intuitively that's where I was playing.
What I just got was the Mary Callie, like you need the balance between the light and the dark of the feminine.
Of the feminine, yeah.
Like masculine is solid in its masculinity, but the feminine has this tendency to birth and at the same time be the crone, the one that helps birth into, like, to change the lifetimes, to help bring life in and to help leave, like most nurses in caregiver homes are feminine. So to help the dying process, to help the birthing process and the dying process, both of those.
And Kali is the destroyer, right?
Yeah,
Kali
Kali
is traditionally
yeah.
the destroyer, and Mother Mary is the creator. She's the archetype of birthing Christ.
Mother of God, she's called.
Yeah, yeah. So that's beautiful.
Must,
yeah, and we're a bit clumsy with our divine feminine right now, because we've had them so ripped apart, right? The traditional church, or whatever you want, I don't want to blame anyone, but whatever that energy was over however many thousands of years since the goddess times, has split off women into, you know, the immaculate, I wasn't raised Catholic, but the immaculate Mother Mary, and then represented by either Mary Magdalene, who is the whore, or Kali, who is the destroyer with the skulls around her neck and around her waist. And what it feels like we're doing in this 2012, we're birthing in, and it's messy. It's messy.
So messy.
It's exciting, it's exhilarating, and it's messy. And what we're doing is we're bringing those two.
And it's empowering.
It is empowering.
It's
That's a good word to
enchanting.
use.
Yeah.
For men and women and children,
Yes.
for our families. It's empowering our families, is what it is, at a really deep spiritual level. And it's a new time, and it's been a new time for a long time, you know. But like, I'm a young soul who's not very wise, and I'm stumbling along, and I'm starting to finally learn, maybe a little, finally, right? Like, it's starting to kind of sink in.
You're a wise soul.
You are a wise soul.
Buying that shit. You're a wise soul.
She can have that one. I'll be the wise soul in those lots.
This is a very empowering space, and we need more spaces like this portal. This is a very special place. And everybody that comes here knows that. And more people need to come here so that they can know that
And it's a
for
safe
themselves.
place that you don't have judgment from. There's
Yeah,
no judgment
exactly.
here, which is
That you
good.
find healing,
Yeah.
the true type of healing.
And everybody's
That's
accepted.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Can you mention a bit about Branagh, your son's
My son
connection
Branagh?
to this place? Sorry, I keep saying his name wrong.
he's 10 years old, and he's a beautiful, beautiful soul. I'm so, he's a gift from God, that's what we call him. He's our little gift from God. He makes us smile and makes us laugh every day. And he loves to come here. He feels that he's safe here. He's not judged by anyone. He can talk about the things that he knows, the people that he sees that are not here and are here, because he's a very intuitive little boy. Yes, and he's spoken about that sort of thing since he was very, very small, and I've encouraged it, because I don't want him to forget who he is, and I think he's a very important person to be here. So I'm grateful to have him in my life. Yeah.
So this is the seed of, you know, this is a vision that I've had, the portal as it is right now, with this little teeny tiny healing room that we're all squished into, and the shop out there, which in my practical brain was supposed to pay the rent for everything, which we haven't pulled that off yet, but it's a seed for a much larger idea, and there's so many people, women and men, who have amazing gifts in this community that I've lived in for 21 years now, and began way back when I first moved here with my kids, running a kids drop-in, and now it's like that's evolved over time into this gathering place really for spiritual beings, people who are waking up and making it a really safe place, so they know that at the top of these stairs they can come up and they can feel accepted. And what's happening is we're outgrowing the space, and we haven't learnt yet how to manifest the funds to support this space even, and we really want a bigger space so we can have a free school or an unschool, whatever you want to call it, so that people like Branagh and my niece Amy can really bring their gifts. You know, these are young kids.
Some of your other great ideas. There's other, not just that. There's so many possibilities, and it's nice to be able to have the abundance to create the dream possibility and make it real, right?
Yeah. And we're doing it right now in lots of places. I've been doing it for about 15 years out of my float home. We call it Coming Home, hearth temenos, and we do work out on the land. We have chanting sessions in the house, and people like Sandra Dawn in the community, and Nathan Aswell and Jerry, they all do chanting there.
You saw a need for it.
Yeah, and it's been happening,
like,
you know?
the portal.
Yeah,
that's what
it's
it
been
is.
happening, and right now we're doing stuff at Kim's place because it's winter and it's not great on the docks, but to have all of that under one roof and have other kind of music. Denise Hagen, who's known in the community, is doing a concert for us on the 17th, and we're doing a gong night. There's just so much
yoga too.
beautiful,
Yoga,
Kundalini yoga. There's
Kundalini yoga?
Kundalini yoga with Rebecca, yeah.
And the meditation is really special. I go
Yeah.
to that once a week, and it's really special.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays at
On
1?
Tuesdays here at the
Yeah,
portal.
that's
Kim-
very special. It's led
Guided
by
meditation.
guided meditation by Kim, and I've been to it twice. It's very beautiful. It's hard to explain, but you need to come.
And Sandra Dawn's in Hawaii right now, but she just emailed me and said that she wants to come and do sound chanting hours at lunchtime, so I'm really thrilled, because this used to be the old music school. I used to bring my kids here when they were little for violin. And
This building?
this building, yeah, the whole upstairs of the portal here above the carpet shop in Delta used to be the music school, and they've moved, but it really feels
So the
like that
vibes are still
vibration
in the walls.
is in
Yeah.
here. And we do a lot of work in this room on sacred union between Christ and Mary Magdalene, and moving in next door is the cruise ships that work on wedding planning. So somebody just pointed out that sort of neat connection.
Yeah.
We're always reading the invisible symbology around here, and sometimes I take it a bit far, but it's a lot of fun.
I saw an oak leaf and 3 little stones on your step down here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
So yeah, the dream is to grow, and we want to do it responsibly, and we want to do it with commitments. The vision that I have is actually sort of this. If you can imagine, here's the flower, so think of the lotus flower, and in the center is spirit. And for me, the work I do is heart alchemy, so I work with the 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, spirit, and you see them all represented on here. So earth in the north, and air in the east, and fire in the south, and water in the west, and then in the center is the representation of spirit. And we're all about just totally accepting whatever spirit is for you. You know, you could be a devout Catholic, you could be a Baptist, you could be a witch, you could be a pagan, you could be a Buddhist. It's irrelevant to me. That is sort of like people's sexuality. It's none of my business. And that's how I feel that divine connection to spirit. So the heart alchemy that I do here in the room is really spontaneous, and it's coming from that base. So the growing of the vision is seeing this flower as the center, being that really open version of spirit. And then if you see how the petals of the flower are sort of layered, what I'm learning is that the vision and where I've been growing this seed inside myself is like the first petal. And the piece that I really gained from Charles and Stella this weekend is that the next piece is, ironically, the piece of sacred union. And then on top of that, you know, 4 and 8, and ultimately the 12. So we're working in this vision of the sacred number of 13, and the 13 being the center. But it's sort of been a revelation to me over this last few days, and it's no accident, because we've been working for a few years now on the new moon with Mary Magdalene and Christ being the sacred union, and Radha and Krishna being the sacred union. But what I'm realizing as the mothers and as the women, we need to get our own sacred union inside with that masculine and feminine, and also in relationship. And it's really tempting, I know for me, like I'll put my hand up to just go hang out with all you women because you're really easy and you think like me, but I actually have to go home and get the sacred union bit down, because it's the foundation. You know, Nick has been supporting the portal in this financially and every other way, and him and I are the, I'm gonna cry now. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's, and I'm kind of just sitting
There's
over
lots
top
of
of that.
here, but there's lots of crying.
There's
here
a lot
too,
of
because,
weeping, yeah.
because we go pretty deep here, you know.
Yeah, we
So-
have a box of tissues,
Yeah.
hankies under there.
Are they under there?
The hankies are under
They get
there.
you
and-
on?
Yeah, I really don't like crying in front of everybody. I love it when everybody does it in front of me. Yeah, so it's really the foundation of going within. It's all an inside job, no matter what your spirituality. Getting that masculine and feminine inside, which Mary Magdalene and Christ and Radha and Krishna are such an amazing example of. And then it's going home and doing it with the people we love, you know, whether it's Paula with her 9 kids, or my 2, or yours, or our partners. That's the hard,
Kim and I were
hard
talking
work.
about it, and she liked my term for it, which is that I'm trying to bring heaven down to earth.
Yeah.
I can do it when I'm alone in my garden, but I can't seem to keep it with my kids and my husband, and that's what I'm trying to do, is bring
That balance.
and then when you do beautiful things, like you create something beautiful out of nature or something, that's spinning straw into gold. So those are the terms, we like the terms, you know, bringing heaven down, you know, a little bit of heaven down to earth, you know, for other people and for yourselves, right?
And
And then
remember
they
to
can
bring
learn
it
how to-
home, right? Because
Yeah.
it's so tempting for us.
Yeah.
We all meet. I've been doing women's circles for like 15 years now. We love gathering on the new moon and the full moon, and we're just looking at mirrors of ourselves, and we just have a love fest. We're all so in love with each other.
Yeah.
And then it's taking that strength and that energy and taking it home and doing it in the intimate
Yeah.
relationships,
Yeah.
whoever that may be, right?
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
with your mother, it could be your brother, because it's, I hate to sound religious, but it's like love thy neighbor, love thyself, and I think I get it backwards, but it's interchangeable.